All right. I am here with Anita Ortiz. Thank you so much for joining me on the Do Big Things podcast. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you taking the time. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about this. I'm not really sure I do big things, but we can
Come
find out
on.
what I do. And
Whatever. You have done so many big things. Come on.
well, yes, but not in the grand scheme of things, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you're comparing yourself to other people, but yeah, no, you've done plenty of big things. Trust me.
I've done a fair amount, and some of my biggest things are not athletic related, and so that's kind of cool too.
Oh, cool. Well, I want to hear about them too.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with a series of rapid fire questions. If you could entertain me and just answer them as quick as possible.
Okay.
Okay. This will warm your brain up, warm both of our brains up.
Okay.
Trekking poles or hands on knees?
Hands on knees.
Nice. Let's see. If you could run with one person, alive or dead, who would that be?
Could they keep up with me?
Yes, of course. In your dream,
My
in your dream
grandma.
world. Oh, okay.
My grandma.
Nice. Did she ever run?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, you just want to talk with her. Yeah, it'd be a good day. Headphones or the sounds of nature?
It depends.
Okay, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Got it. Who is your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush, Brad Pitt.
Ah, nice. Okay. What is your guilty pleasure?
Chocolate chips.
Ooh, all right. I like that. Let's see. If you could teach one subject in school, what would that be?
I'm a school teacher.
That's what I thought. What do you teach?
Actually, I'm elementary, and so everything. But if I were an upper school teacher and I could teach anything and have the knowledge, I would teach a foreign language, because
Okay.
I think that's opens the world to so many wonderful things.
It does. Do you know any foreign languages?
I know a little bit of Spanish,
Okay.
and I know a little bit of German, but my daughter is fluent in Spanish and Mandarin, and it's just, I spent some time with her in Taiwan, and she just blew me away.
It's beautiful to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful language.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, what is the grossest thing you've ever seen or done on a trail?
This is like really sadly gross. I saw a baby bird that had fallen out of its nest, and it wasn't going to make it, and it was in a really dried out section of trail, and it was almost dead, and I stepped on it.
You had to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was no way it was going to live, and I was just suffering, and it kind of made a little pop sound, and it was gross, and it was awful, and it hurts me still.
Yeah. I had an
I'll probably
experience
get
like
hate
that.
mail.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, you did the right thing. I had an experience like that once, and I couldn't do it. My golden retriever picked up a baby rabbit on the trail and like punctured it. She was just playing, but she kind of punctured a couple holes in it, and I couldn't do it. And my buddy came over and like I think he put some leaves over the top of it, and just and I felt bad about it.
Yeah.
That's awful.
But it's better in the long run. For the poor little guy.
I guess you don't want him to suffer. Yes.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Well, take us back, Anita. Like, you've been running for a long time, and you've had some success in your running career. You've won a couple races over the years. But I don't really know your full story. And actually, before we start that, I want to, you probably won't remember this, but this was like 2013 or so. You and I think your daughter came to Boulder Running Company in Littleton, and I was working there at the time. And yes,
I do. I remember you now.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yep.
cool. And I was like, okay, what are you guys shopping for? And I told you I got a race coming up. You're like, oh, what's the race? And I'm like, oh, it's called Western States down in California. And you're like, oh, I've done that race. I'm like, no kidding. And I was like, how'd you do? And like, in a really humble, like, matter of fact way, you said, well, I won it. And I'm just like, whoa, What's your name? Who are you? So that was my introduction to you, and I don't really know the full story. So take us back. How did you start running?
Well, if you go way back, I started really running back as a kid in 2nd grade.
Okay. Where'd you grow
I
up?
had 2 brothers, and I lived in a neighborhood that didn't have any other girls. I had a next door neighbor that was a girl, but she did a lot of organized like gymnastics and stuff. And my parents didn't do that with me. So I pretty much, my brothers didn't want to have anything to do with me. I was the little sister.
Mhm.
So I just ran loops around my house to fill the time. And pretty soon then I started running to and from school, which was a little over a mile away.
Mhm.
And I just got into it from there. And then I ran in, that was elementary school. And then I ran in junior high and high school, ran cross country. And we were on an undefeated state championship team.
Wow.
Didn't take any scholarships that I had offered and said I was never going to run again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the competition. Wasn't me. Made me too nervous, but I still ran every day anyway. Okay. And then after my kids were born, so fast forward through college, graduate school, marriage, first few years of work, kids are born, all the kids are born. Wait, is that right, Mike? Yeah. All the kids were born, and it's a good thing I have a husband that has a better memory. And then I started competing, and I started doing mountain trail races. So my background, I didn't start in ultras.
Okay.
I started in mountain trails.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was really good at going uphill, and I was on 6 world championship teams, World Cup team.
Wow.
Traveled around the world.
What years are those? What years are these?
I think it started in 2002.
Okay.
Looking at my husband, hoping he can tell me. Maybe 2002. Well, it's interesting because he runs the Vail Rec District. He's the executive director. And so he does a lot of races. He puts on races. Okay. So I would do some of his races. And one day he came home and he said, you're really good at this uphill stuff. There's this race called Pikes Peak. They run up this 14er. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He said, you should sign up and do it. And I signed up and did it. I'd never heard of it, knew nothing about it, signed up and did it and won it. And then I continued to win it maybe 4 or 5 more times after that.
Unreal.
And so my background really is in short, steep, fast.
Okay. Okay.
But then I had some injuries and things down the line, and saw the writing on the wall and switched into ultras.
Yeah. Okay. Now, did you grow up in Colorado?
Yes, I grew up in Wheat Ridge.
Okay. Okay.
So you're in Boulder, right?
I'm in Boulder. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in the mountains, like hiking, camping, anything like that when you were a kid?
Yeah, my mom and dad moved to Colorado from Ohio because they loved the mountains and skiing and hiking and sailing. We had a sailboat and we skied every weekend. And so we had a house in Summit Cove in the Dillon area. Okay. And I spent every weekend, pretty much of my life, summer, winter, up recreating in the mountains.
Got it. Mm-hmm. And then, so yeah, you got into cross country, you said, and you weren't really feeling the competition thing. Like, what was that all about? Were you?
Oh, I just didn't like how nervous I got. I just didn't know how to handle it very well. And I did fine. I just didn't care for it. And I really kind of wanted to go to college and just, have a good time.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I got really good at managing the nervousness of the competition, fortunately, because it became something I did every weekend of my life.
For sure. Yeah. The more you do it, the more the nerves just kind of go away.
Or you know how to handle them. I don't think I still get nervous.
Yeah.
But
really.
I just can put it in a compartment for a little bit longer.
Sure. Yeah. So then you started running mountains. Well, before we go there, what did you go to school for?
I went to school, well, education. I went to
Okay.
school and got a human development, family studies degree. And the interesting way that came about was that I wanted to be a teacher, and they said they had the program at CSU, but they cut it my first year there. So I was either going to have to transfer or do something else. So I got the manual. This was back when there were, you know, it wasn't online because there wasn't such thing. And I flipped through the catalog and I just went boom. And where my finger landed on, that's what I chose to major in. So I was really majoring in just having a lot of fun in college. And fortunately, then I went to Florida State and got a master's degree in education.
Okay. Got it. And then came marriage and kids?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I moved up to the Vail area. I moved to Vail and lived in Vail and met my husband up here.
How'd you guys meet?
I worked with his mom. It was a blind date.
No way.
She set us up.
She set you up. Okay.
Well, it wasn't even a blind date. We didn't know it. She just invited me over for dinner. And he happened to be there that night for dinner too.
Okay. Well, she must have liked you.
She said she had been watching me for a couple of years before she decided.
Awesome. Isn't it funny how it all works out?
I know, right? Yeah.
So how long you been married?
You got that in your head? 29? Or is it 30? 30 years.
30 years. Okay. And how many kids you guys have?
4.
Are they all girls? I know you have a couple girls.
I have 3 girls and 1 boy. I have 2 older, 2 girls, and then a set of twins. And the twins are a boy and a girl.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
What age ranges?
One's 29, 27, and then 25. No. 28, 26, and 24.
Okay, cool. Are they all out of the house?
They're all out of the house. We have 1 in medical school, 1 in law school, 1 is an engineer, and 1 is a public administration bigwig.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. So you've got a successful family. You must have done something right along the way.
You know, you always want your kids to do better than you did, right? That's always
Sure.
the hope, that your kids do better and do more.
Yeah.
So that they can support you when you grow old.
Yeah.
That's my.
You're never going to grow old. I think you're ageless. So then that was when you got into mountain running after you had kids?
Yeah, I had always been running. I never quit running, but yeah, I started racing again.
Okay.
After the kids, and it was kind of a, well, gee, what do I do with myself now? I've had my kids. I wasn't a nursing mom anymore. I was, you know, and what do you do with yourself? Which is kind of, I look back at it now and I think that's crazy because I was busy as anything with 4 children.
No kidding.
No
kidding.
5 and 3 and 1. What was I thinking? But I needed something else to do, so I may as well start running competitively.
Perfect. So what did that look like back in those days? Were you like pushing around a stroller? Or were the kids like tagging along on a bike?
Sometimes pushing around a stroller. Okay. It more than anything looked like 3:30 in the morning.
Okay. So you were getting up early.
Or 9 at night. Or both. Usually both.
Okay.
And I would leave and my husband had duty if anything should come up.
Sure. Okay. So what kind of mileage were you putting in those days? You were just starting this mountain career. Was it big miles right away or?
No.
Not really?
No. I was more of a time kind of gal.
Okay.
And I would get in an hour and a half in the morning, but it'd be mountainous. So, it's not, you're not banging out a quick 15 or anything. It's on the mountain.
Yep.
And then in the evening, I would typically do an hour on a stair machine or something. So 2.5, 3 hours a day is what I'd shoot for of some sort of training.
Yeah. And at that time you weren't running ultras. This was shorter races, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like what distance?
The mountain races would typically be anywhere between 5 and 8 or 9 miles, just as whatever the course was. The courses, according to the federation, had to have a certain amount of climbing, certain amount of descent, and they had to meet some parameters to be considered it had to be at a certain elevation, a certain amount of elevation gain, to fit the parameters.
Okay. Were you winning races right away? Did you excel right from the start? Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much. I think I just, I had a huge base from running my whole life.
Sure.
I hadn't competed. I wasn't competitive from high school on. So my legs were really rested. I had that boost you get after you've had kids, which is true, believe me. And I just have an attitude.
Really?
And you put that all together and it works. Yeah.
Okay. What's the attitude all about? Where does that come from?
My husband always says that I act like it's a blood sport. And and I guess I'm humble when I'm not racing. But when I turn on my race brain, it's different.
You're competitive.
And yeah, I'm really, really competitive. And my parents, when I was growing up, we had plenty of anything we could want or need. But I didn't know it.
Okay.
And I think my parents really instilled in me the drive to go out and get what you want. It's not going to be given to you. And I just carry that through.
Is that something you carry in all of life or just with running?
Yeah.
With everything?
Yeah. It's a good thing. It can be a curse, but it's a good thing.
For sure. What other things are you competitive with? Like,
it'd be easier to say, what am I not competitive with?
Really? Okay. Are you competitive?
Because we can make a competition right here, right now, if you want, about something.
I like it. See, I'm sensing this little attitude come out. I like it. Are you competitive with your husband about anything?
Well, we try not to be, because it doesn't work out so well for us. It tends to lead to arguments and things. Right. So we kind of try to stay in our own little corner when it's things like that. And he very kindly chooses different sports to really focus on, so that it doesn't make me crazy when he's running. And
that's how you make 30 years of marriage work.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I like it. That's a good pro tip there. I like that. Okay. So how long were you doing these mountain races before you got involved with ultra?
Well, whenever Western States happened, I started running ultras the year before that.
Okay. I'm
not sure what year that was. I want to say 2009, or maybe it was 7.
Okay.
That's one thing I'm not super, I'm competitive and I'm very driven, but I also don't care. Like it's cool that I won Western States. That's really cool. And it's not that I don't care, but it's not one of those things that I feel like I need to keep on the tip of my tongue and fresh in my memory. It's
sure.
So I guess not care is not the right word. It's I don't dwell on it. And I think I used to dwell on things a lot. So I've been working on that one, letting letting myself gracefully grow older.
Yeah.
So anyhow, back to the question, that's why I don't remember when it is, but the year before Western States, I was that my plantar fascia? Yeah. I was in a mountain trophy race.
Mm-hmm.
And a gal from New Zealand, I was stepping on a log and a gal from New Zealand gave me a slight little shove to the side. My foot dropped down and I ruptured my plantar fascia. Just boom,
Ooh.
done. One and done.
Oh.
I finished the race, but that put me out for quite a while. I battled with that for many years. And when I finally could start running again, you just don't have the same top end speed.
Okay. Did you have to have surgery?
I didn't have surgery.
Okay.
They said, basically the surgery is what this did, only it was more complete than the surgery is.
Wow. Okay.
The surgery allows you a way to heal and still have some use. I can't push off of my toe anymore.
Really? To this day?
Yeah. So like you roll up and you push off your toe, your big toe.
Mm-hmm.
I push off kind of from the side of my foot and the ball of my foot.
Okay.
So I have a really funky stride now, and it slowed me down.
Yeah. Yeah. Has that, when you're compensating like that, has that brought up other injuries like knee injury, hip injury, anything else over the years?
I've had so many injuries.
Really?
A lot from that and a lot not from that.
Okay.
But yeah, I had some knee issues. I had hip issues. But now that, my foot just kind of got worse and worse and worse and worse until it was completely flat. And then I had to relearn how to run. And now it's fine. It doesn't hurt anymore. I wear orthotics, but
sure.
I didn't have the same top speed anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
But I had a lot of other injuries from other reasons. I mean, I'm the most injured person you could know.
No kidding. I wouldn't have guessed that. So you've been through it all. You've had all the injuries. I mean, what's it like for you when you get injured? It sounds like you kind of almost need to run for, I don't know if it's for sanity reasons or what, but I don't imagine you do well being cooped up.
I feel I'd like to think I'm getting better at it.
Okay.
My first injury was right before a race up the Mount Washington road race. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a very big event on the East Coast. And I was gunning for a win, and I hadn't been injured in like four years, solid years, winning most of the races I ran. I won. I won multiple national titles, and so I'm going for another great summer, and this was going to be my summer kickoff, and I got a stress fracture in my hip. And you'd have thought the world was going to end. And then through time, just this past summer, I broke my kneecap, and I just walked, and it got better. So I think through all the multiple injuries, I've gotten better and better and better. Better at dealing with it.
Managing. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Was that stress fracture in your hip from overuse, or what was that from?
Yes, it was definitely from overuse, overtraining. I was working really hard, and I probably wasn't eating right, and my weight was low, and I did it to myself. It was a qualifier for the mountain running team, and so I was heartbroken. I didn't think I would make the team that year, but my doctor got me put back together pretty well, and I took most of the summer off, obviously from running, but I did a lot of cross training, so that helped.
Okay.
I was on my pre-core like a crazy person.
Okay.
My elliptical. So
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Is that basically what cross training is for you, like on an elliptical, or do you cycle or anything else?
We have a really nice setup at our house. We have weights and an elliptical and a treadmill and a bike and a stair machine.
Okay.
And I pretty much mix it up on all of those.
Good. Okay.
Just it was really necessary when I was really racing and competing hard to have lots of options.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned that your weight was low and that you probably weren't eating right. Like, what did that look like? Were you eating junk food, or is weight something that you really struggled with as an endurance athlete? I mean, the lighter you are, the faster you go typically. Was that something you struggled with?
Yeah, I think my first 4 years, it was never an issue because the whole thing, my becoming good at racing, and I went through one season where I didn't lose a single race. And it all kind of hit me out of the blue. I was like, what, wait, who is this we're talking about? Who's this Anita person? And I didn't, it was kind of me watching me from the outside and thinking, wow, that's really cool. Look at what your legs do, And then that 5th year, or maybe it was the 4th year, I can't remember which one, but there are a lot of targets on your back.
Sure.
So you train a lot harder, and you when it once before you were like, well, what I'm doing is working. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, which was eating a ton and eating junk food and, and training a lot, but, drinking margaritas every Friday and whatever. And then I started being perhaps too deliberate and being too careful about what I was eating and, thinking, yeah, you weigh a little less, you can move a little faster, but I don't know that I fully buy into that, at least not for myself.
Okay. Got it. When did you first hear of Western States?
I had a good friend who had done ultras before, and I think she had run 100 before. And when I started running ultras and not running the mountain things as much, I started running and training with her, and she had never, she hadn't done 100. She'd never done anything more than a 50 because we had said, let's go do this 100K. And I'd never run anything more than 50 miles. Okay. And so we were like, oh, this will be fun. It's in California. It's in May. It'll be great weather. And we were all stoked to go do this long, long race. And so we signed up for Miwok. And I didn't know it was a qualifier for anything.
Oh, okay.
And
you went out and killed it.
And as I'm running, someone said, so if you win, are you going to take are you going to Western? And I was like, what? And I was kind of like, I guess I don't know, because I had no clue.
Wow.
I had no clue. And then it wasn't until I came in second. Cami Simic beat me in Miwok that year, and it was the first top two got the ticket.
Yep.
I don't even think they called it a golden ticket then. It was just entrance. It was automatic entry or something.
Yep.
And it was like a week later, they called me and asked me if I was going to take my spot. And I was like, 100 miles. I swore I was never going to run 100 miles, but what the heck,
Did you know anything about the race?
No, I started to read up on it then.
Then you did. Okay.
But I didn't read up very much. I knew Nikki Kimball and I were really good friends.
Okay.
Are still really good friends. So cool. I would talk to her some about it. And so I guess I can't say I didn't know anything about it, but I didn't really. Yeah. I didn't really. And so I talked to her some, and but I really went into it naive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going back a little bit, you got injured and you had to slow down a little bit. That's kind of what prompted you to start running ultras, because it's a slower pace, longer distance. So that's kind of why you got into it. And then, so you had done a couple ultras. You'd been up to 50 miles before you did Miwok. Had you done a bunch of 50 milers? Or just
couple. I had done one here in Fruta. I had done Red Hot, which is 55 K. I did, God, what's that awesome one that you go up in Oregon?
Speed Goat?
Mount Hood?
No, not Speed Goat. I can't think of it.
What is it? Oh, yeah. Anyway, I did that one. And, and I did Speed Goat. I think that was it.
Okay. So you had some experience, and you'd sort of caught the ultra bug at that point.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you were competitive and you were getting after it.
Oh, yeah. When I was going into Miwok, I was going into Miwok hopefully to win.
Okay.
I wanted to win.
Okay.
I was never planning on running 100 miles, but I wanted to. Yeah. But I go into anything kind of wanting to win.
Sure. So when you're going into 100K and you want to win, and I'm guessing you're training hard for it, what does that training look like back in those days?
Let's see. 2.5 hours in the morning, an hour in the afternoon running, hour and a half on the treadmill.
Wow. So like 5 hours a day.
I have 4 kids, school age, all playing competitive sports at this time.
Yeah. How did you juggle it all?
Well, they, depending on whose day it was to do carpool duties, I would, run at the soccer field, or I would run from the dance studio, or but as time went on and the kids got really, really into their athletics, we were driving 2 of our kids to Denver to compete every night or 3 nights a week. So we would drive there. My husband would drive one kid, I would drive another, because they went to different parts of Denver. Then I would have to run there. I still got up really early in the morning, 3:30.
So whenever you could get a few miles in, basically. So you were like that crazy mom who was like running laps around the soccer field while your kids were playing soccer, or?
Well, no, I didn't run laps. I kind of would like see ya, and I'd be gone. But
okay.
But yeah, that was me. That was definitely me.
Were other moms looking at you like, what is this lady doing?
No, because I think most of the parents knew what I'd done.
Okay.
I think they, asked, the kids had asked my kids, or they'd asked what I do, or, so pretty much everybody got to know who I was and expected it. Sure. And my husband did the drive that was every night. So I didn't have to go every night, and that saved me. I only had to go 3 nights a week. Okay. So I had a lot of nights I could be here.
Sure. Okay.
Training here.
Were you teaching at this point, or were you running as a career? Oh, you were teaching. Okay. Was there a career in running at that point, with like back when you were doing the mountain running?
I had not a very well paid career. Sure. I mean, not if that's what you're calling it. But I was sponsored. I had quite a few sponsors, and my main sponsor was Salomon. And they paid me.
They took care of you.
I got money from Salomon when I was really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you were still teaching.
But I was still teaching, because it wasn't, you can't make. Yeah. You can't, I mean, not unless you're, Killian.
You really got to hustle. Yeah. No kidding.
I mean, because I was at the top of the game when I was doing it. Sure. But it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. The sport wasn't as big then. I mean, there's not tons of money in it now, and I'm sure there was even less back then. Yeah. Okay. So 2nd place at Miwok, you got your ticket for Western States. You started researching what this race is like. Were you talking to Nikki Kimball looking for pointers, or how?
A little bit. I talked to Nikki a little bit about it, and then I had a friend that's a dietitian, and she actually lined me out. She was like, "You're going to go. I want you to run this pace from here to here, and this is what you need to eat, and this is what you need to drink." And she had it all she had it all lined out for me. And then Dave Mackey.
Yes.
Dave Mackey gave me some really good pointers. He probably gave me the best pointers of anybody.
Okay. Who was his dietitian? I mean, who can find a dietitian that sets them up on pace and
Katie
what they're gonna
Mazia.
eat? What's her
You
name?
need a good dietitian. Katie Mazia is the one.
Okay. And she was telling you what you're going to eat during workouts or during the race, or?
No, not during workouts, just during the race.
Okay.
I've never been really good at eating or drinking during workouts.
Okay.
And she knew me well enough to know that she wasn't going to get that to change too much, but I did start to carry a little bit at the time. Just to get used to having a pack on my back. But she got me so set up for the race that like I couldn't have failed.
Wow.
She practically put jet fuel in my pack.
Wow. And so what sort of things were you eating back then?
I did nothing but gels.
Gels. No kidding.
Gels and what was it? It was like Heed or something.
Okay. Did you ever have stomach problems?
No, I have a gut of steel.
Oh, you must
throw anything in there.
All those gels, man. I'd be throwing
36
up all over
of
the
them.
place. 36 to do 100 miles.
Yeah.
And that's all you ate exclusively.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's insane. Wow. Well, hats off to you. That's crazy.
But you know what? I can't eat. They were power gels and I can't do power gel anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that. No. Yeah.
Just got sick of them. Yeah. Do you still eat gels in races? Is that still your thing?
I do. And, but I will now take food off the table too.
Okay.
But I used to just, I had like 6 packs and I would just have my packs loaded and ready. And I would take one pack off, throw it, grab the other pack.
Got it. Okay. So you had a good support team.
Yeah.
Was it your family?
It was my husband and 2 of my good running friends.
Okay. Okay. And did you go into Western States as competitive as you are with everything else? Were you gunning for the win right off the bat? Really?
I was hoping for top 20.
Okay.
I really thought that was realistic. I was gunning to make it. And that's the most I've ever brought down my goals, but I really thought that was realistic.
Okay. Just since it was your first 100 miler?
Yeah. And I had no clue.
Really?
What I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't know how your body's going to react. It's like all uncharted territory. So you're just hoping for a top 20. And then at what point in the race did you know that you were going to win this thing? Was it early on or later in the race?
Well, it was, when I was running, there was a phenomenal runner, Bev Anderson Abs.
Okay.
And she and I were bouncing back and forth, and Nikki was there, and Chrissy Mail was there, and you know there were other good runners that I had my mind on, but Bev was the one that we were just kind of bouncing back and forth, and slowly she and I were pulling away. But anytime we went downhill, she would just blast past me. And anytime we went uphill, I would pass her.
Okay.
And it continued. And at one point when we were going down into Duncan Canyon, I think, I kept saying, if I can ever be ahead of her at the bottom, I've got her. If she ever doesn't pass me back on the downhill, I've got her. Because then I've got the uphill. I don't have to catch her and pass her. And that one, she didn't get me. And I just blasted it as fast as I could on that downhill. And then I thought, okay, I've got her.
Yeah.
But I was still afraid the whole race.
Oh yeah. Then you're being hunted.
Yeah.
So you were in the lead at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Duncan Canyon, I'm trying to remember. That's is that like mile 60-ish?
No, it's like 20.
That early on?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
20, 24, 36, somewhere in there.
Okay. So
Yeah, but
you
it's
led.
before you've seen your crew. Like you haven't seen your crew yet.
Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. Okay. Got it. So
Yeah.
so you were dominating the race from pretty early on then.
I don't know if it was dominating, but I was definitely running as hard as I could run. And it was, like I said, ignorance, because what I know now, I would never have done that.
And then
So,
you're
it
just
was
kind
luck.
of, and then you're running scared, which
Yeah, and then you're running scared.
yeah, I know how that feels. You're just like looking behind you, just waiting for somebody to
Yeah.
come up behind you. Yeah.
I came into an aid station, I think the first time I saw my crew, and I said, I'm hurting. And Katie said, what part of you hurts? And I said, what, are you kidding me? Everything fucking
All of
hurts.
it. All of it.
You know? And that's, and you know, and I did that to myself, and I was like, okay, deal. 'Cause you did this to yourself.
Wow.
Fortunately, I had done a lot of downhill practice. So my quads were okay.
Okay.
I think that's the only thing that saved me for the rest of that race.
Okay. So
Because that's what kills a lot of people.
For sure. So you had trained for the downhills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I trained running down Vale Pass.
Okay.
So hard road down the pass. Just
like
beat my legs up.
Running fast, just pounding the quads. Okay.
Yeah.
And then hiking back up and then running back down.
I would run back up.
You'd run back up.
I would run up, run down, run up, run down.
Okay. But focusing on the down.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes I would run up and then I'd run down into Copper Mountain and then run back up and then run down into Vale.
Okay. Wow. And so at some point in the race, did you know you had a big gap on second place, or were you running scared the whole time?
I knew I had a gap when I was crossing the river. Someone had told me how much time I had. But you couldn't be super sure yet then, because, there wasn't tracking back then, and cell phones were, you flip the thing up and maybe, so at the river, I got the first information that I had a pretty good gap. And then, Katie switched over to be my pacer, and we took a horrific wrong turn.
Oh no.
And I lost 20 minutes.
Oh, whoa.
And so then when we got back on course, I was panicked the rest of the way because I had no idea. Then it was it's getting dark. I can see headlights behind me. I mean, I can see headlamps behind me and absolute panic. And so my lead was gone.
Had you been passed by any women?
No, fortunately I hadn't, but we didn't know that until 10 miles later when we got to the next aid station, and they were like, where have you been? We've been waiting for you.
Yeah. Wow. So
this horrible wrong turn. And I said, have any other women come through? And they said, no, but then we didn't know how close they were anymore.
Right. So you were running scared the whole time.
Yeah.
Wow. So I hate to focus just on Western States because it was so long ago, but it's an iconic race. You did so well at it. Like, how did you feel when you crossed that finish line and you ran through the track? I mean, did you feel like,
I feel like it's a good thing to focus on, actually, because it is a big thing. Sure. That is probably one of my biggest, when people say, what's the biggest thing you've done in your running career? It is Western States.
Okay. Yep.
So, yeah, when I got onto the track, I think it was just disbelief. I just kept saying, I'm going to win this. I'm going to win this. I'm going to win freaking Western States. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm going to win Western States. And then I crossed the finish line, and they came to interview me, and I didn't know they'd do a finish line interview, and I'd never done that before. And then they said something like, how are you going to get your trophy home? And I was like, what trophy? And they have these
big cougar. Yeah,
I had no clue. And it was just so all new to me. And I was like a baby deer, with bright eyes going, oh my gosh. And it was, like I said, me looking outside of me going, who just did this?
Wow. That's crazy. That's
It
crazy.
was really cool. It was a
Wow.
cool feeling. It's
Yeah. Gosh,
the
I can only
greatest feeling
imagine.
ever.
Wow. So after Western States, I mean, it seems like you would look to your next 100 miler or Western States the next year, and I want to come back and I want to defend my title. But you didn't really do that, did you?
Yeah, no, no, I didn't. I was getting ready to, and I was in, I believed, even better shape the next year
You got
to go
injured.
back and defend it. And I was running, Megan Finney's race in Clear Creek Canyon. Awesome race. Oh, what is it? It'll come to me. Anyway, and I blew my knee out. I took a misstep and I destroyed my knee. And I did it so badly that they had me in to surgery, and I had microfracture surgery less than a week later because it was so bad. It was just destroyed. And that took me 2-3 years to really get back to running again.
Okay. What were those years like? Was that, I mean, I'm guessing it was a big letdown. How tough was that for you?
It was, in some ways, it was the best years of my life.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because the kids were all still home, or 3 of them. And I got to be the mom that I wasn't. And I was a good mom. Good. But I wasn't I wasn't a go in and volunteer in your classroom mom because I was working. But I'd be doing a workout while they were watching a movie on TV.
Sure.
Or I'd be doing a workout while they were practicing the piano or whatever. But now I couldn't be doing a workout. So I was sitting with them watching a movie. And it was just really, it was really nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice. While it was really hard and heartbreaking, and I got seriously depressed at times. When I look back at it, I go, man, I sure loved those nights where we watched the soccer World Cup. You know, we didn't miss a game. And that was precious time with my kids that, you know, I was so caught up in the rat race of it that I remember one time saying, you don't know how to wrap a present? I think I need to teach you how to wrap a present. You know? So yeah, it was hard, and I was able to do little bits of running. And I started back thinking I would do triathlons and did a lot of biking. And eventually my knee was strong enough. They said, you'll never run. You should never run ultras again. But, you know, first I did a half marathon and it felt okay. And then I did a marathon and it felt okay. And then I did UROC and it felt fine. So, you know, so then I'm back full at it, going for Run Rabbit Run. And so that time off was a good time off.
Okay.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. You took advantage of it. That's perfect. Are you saying that like in retrospect, now looking back, or when you were in that time, when you were injured, was it, you said you went through some depression and stuff. Was it really hard, or were you trying your best to be engaged and take advantage of this time off and spend it with your kids?
It started out, I was having to try, and it ended up being great.
Okay.
Like you say it enough times and you'll believe it.
Sure.
You know, you try it enough times, eventually you do. And I did a lot of journaling. I went through multiple composition notebooks, just writing down all my anger. I journaled every day, and I'd write 10 pages a day of just angriness, just hostile, mean angriness. And then And then I'd have the day with my kids. And my biggest part of the recovery was in the summertime. And I remember being so mad when Western States took place because I wasn't going to be there. And once that was over, it got easier.
Okay.
Once Western States was over, I was able to, I don't know, calm down.
Bounce back. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Was journaling a big part of your process? Do you feel like that really helped? Journaling is something I've always believed in. It's something I've always been big on. And yeah, when you're having an angry day, just write it out. When you're having a sad day, write it out. It's like just a way to like let the steam out of the teapot almost. Is that how you felt?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. It was actually my father said, you need to be journaling. And I thought, no, that's dumb. You know, what's that going to do? But boy, yeah, it was, and some days it would be just like you said, just anger and let the steam out. And some days it would kind of be poetic, and some days it would be a story, and some days it would be a list. And, but it's always been really good. And I still, anytime I'm injured now, I still to this day do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you still have those notebooks?
I do. And I've gone back and looked at them once, but it was awful.
They're hard to read. Yeah. It's hard to go back and read those tough times.
Yeah.
Just like where your headspace was at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could tell that it was just like diarrhea of the mouth, because there would be like sections of my thinking. And it was like, what were you thinking there? You can make sections of a sentence. There's, but I was just getting it out as fast and as harsh as I could. And yeah, man.
That's good therapy right there, though.
Yeah.
That's like free therapy.
Yeah.
If you can really sit down and make yourself journal, that can take you a long ways, I believe.
Yeah. Well, and fortunately for me, I was stuck in all kinds of machines. So I couldn't go anywhere anyway. So I may as well journal.
Yeah. But eventually you bounced back. You mentioned Run Rabbit Run. Did you run that?
Well, then that's another interesting one.
Oh, no.
I did some other things in between there that I was very successful at. And won some other races, but Run Rabbit Run, I ended up having a pulmonary embolism and like almost dying right there on the road. So that wasn't a good one either. We can
At the race?
Yeah, that's when the first one threw.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's why I said I've had more injuries than.
Okay. So going back a little bit, you said you did some other things you were successful at, other races or other things in life, or?
Yeah, well, no, like UROC. I won UROC 2 times, and I started running Pikes Peak Marathon. And winning that, and not just doing the ascent anymore, but doing the marathon, and just kind of had to set my goals to running successfully and trying to be a top competitor and not winning anymore. Yeah,
for sure. And so tell me about Run Rabbit Run. Like this sounds like a book. This is crazy.
I could write a book.
You could. I know.
Stupid things that I've done. I don't know. I was running along great, and about mile 83, all of a sudden I just couldn't. It was working that direction. I kept getting these pains in my lungs and chest, and I guess lungs, rib cage. I thought it was just my rib cage. And pretty soon I just couldn't go anymore. And I just laid down on the road, and I was only half a mile from the aid station, but I couldn't go any further. And they had to come and take me out. And I went home, and doctors didn't think anything was wrong. And I kept getting worse and worse. And finally a doctor did a chest x-ray and said, "Oh, you need to go to the emergency room, like right now."
Wow.
And I was in the hospital for, I don't know, a week and a half on that one.
So what did that feel like? I mean, did you feel like, woe is me, like I'm just having all this bad luck? Did that bring any depression up, or are you just
By
rolling with the
then,
punches?
by then I'd had so much bad luck. I mean, I don't think there's any part of me I haven't broken. Um, yeah, that one was bad though, because I really damaged parts of both of my lungs
Yeah.
that it will never come back.
Mm,
So I can't do the uphill like I used to do anymore.
mhm,
And it's kind of an eye opener thinking, gosh, I could have died,
mhm, mhm.
because sometimes people do die instantly.
Absolutely.
But I think by then I'm already at the
Yeah.
just another stupid thing Anita did.
Oh, I mean, do you ever like, especially at that time, did you ever sit down and just be thankful for where you're at? Like thankful for the career you had, or were you more just focused on, God dang it, I got another freaking injury, or where was your head at back then?
I think my husband's probably laughing at this question, because he always says, you should be thankful for what you have, for what you've done. Look at what you've done. You've helped make this sport what it is. And
Totally.
no, I'm still not there.
uh, what would it take to get you there?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not happening.
I'll get there, but I think I think part of me, it's not that I have to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's more that I want the feeling. Like, I think I'm over needing to win. I don't need to win anymore. But I need the feeling of doing the best you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And like today I did a tempo run and I was flying and it was awesome and I had that feeling. I bet if I looked at my watch, I would be 3 minutes slower than my tempo runs would have been 15 years ago. But it's 15 years.
Yeah,
So that's okay.
for sure.
And so if I don't have my watch to look at, I had the feeling and it was great.
Yeah.
So that's what I need. I need the feeling. And if the feeling can still come, even if I'm slower, and I get that feeling like your legs aren't even moving, like you're one of those cartoons where it just is like spinning,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going so fast, and that's what it feels like, and everything around you is just shooting by.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get that feeling, no matter what my speed is, then I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm happy. That's
Yeah.
all I need.
For sure. Yeah. It's that flow state.
Yeah.
Tapping into that flow is just a
Yeah.
special place where things just don't matter anymore. The run is
Right.
clicking and life is good, man. Life is good. That's a beautiful thing.
And as long as it can still happen as I get older, which today proved to me it could, because today was awesome. My run today was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
10-mile tempo run. So you're still out there killing it.
Well, but how fast is that tempo?
Well, if you're comparing yourself to 15 years ago, it might not be so fast, but to like normal runners standards, I'm sure it's probably pretty fast.
I don't know. I didn't have my watch going. I try not to use my watch. But
Okay. Do you ever use your watch, or is that something?
I only use my watch now if I want to check a distance, but I know I've run enough that I can pretty much know how within half a mile
Mhm.
of a 15-mile run, how
Mhm.
far I've gone without having a watch.
For sure.
So mostly what I really like to look at my watch is how much elevation.
Yeah. Okay.
I love to go up and down.
Yeah. So you're still going up and down all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite local runs that you do pretty regularly?
Well, let's see. Favorite local, like races?
No,
just
just like training
routes?
runs out the door. Yeah. During the
Mm.
week runs.
We live next to BLM land,
Okay.
basically. So I can go out my door and up 2 houses and cut in, and I've got forever that I can run. So I'm there a lot. And then I love to run on the back side of Vail Mountain. And so in the summer, I spend a lot of time on Vail Mountain, just running up and down that.
Okay. And you're pretty much running right out the door, running from home?
Well, not when I'm running Vail, but
Okay.
when because see, I'm an Eagle now.
Okay.
I don't live in Vail anymore.
Got it. Okay. Okay. And you're still racing. You're still out there killing it. I saw you did I think a couple human potential races recently. And yeah, you're still out there just killing it. So are you able to tap into that flow state during races? Is that something that is still sort of readily available to you?
I did at the last human potential.
Nice.
I did at the 50s. That was a great day for me. It wasn't particularly fast, but I did have that feeling. So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And then I just recently did the Moab Marathon National Championship.
Wow.
And I made a very poor error that was stupid, and I knew better. And so that I totally bonked with 10 miles to go. But up to that point, I was loving life and running great. And I wasn't in the top 10. I was maybe top 12. Okay. And that didn't matter. I was having a great race. I knew I was running well for a 56-year-old lady. And then I bonked, and that was dumb. But prior to that, I was loving it. So yeah, I'm still having a good time.
Yeah. Well, what was the error? Did you just not eat enough, or what happened?
I had salad for dinner.
Oh no. The night before?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm guessing it was like a bathroom break.
Well, and then just zero energy. No backfill of energy to pull on. It was really a poor choice.
Okay.
But I've been working hard, and human potential has really helped me. John has been really helpful to get that love back without the win. And so I love the fact that he doesn't care who wins.
No, there's no awards for winners. I think he gives awards to the last place people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I have found that, and not only that, but he's like an awesome guy. But I found that that's a very welcoming place for me to go and try out this new me that, where I'm going to say, I'm walking up to this start line, and please don't expect me to win. And that's what I used to get. Anytime I would walk up, oh, are you going to win this? So you're going to win? I'll see you, and
it's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, and it can't happen that way anymore. And so it's really nice that he does it the way he does it, because I feel very safe to walk in, because if I win, no one knows. And if I come in dead last, well, someone would know. But if I come in, in the middle, no one knows. And it's great.
Yeah.
So I owe a lot to him for that, actually.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. We work with Sherpa John, and he's a good guy. So
he's awesome.
I'll give him a shout out. I'll let him know you said that. He'll be appreciative.
Yeah.
So are races more fun for you now, or like what does your now look like compared to 15 years ago?
My now is talking to everybody I run past.
So you're chit-chatting more.
Yeah, I'm chit-chatting more, and I'm stopping at the aid stations and talking to the volunteers. And if I want to stop and go, oh my gosh, this is beautiful, I'm going to take a picture, I do. And I've had to teach that to myself. I'm still not fully there in my head, but thanks to John this past year, it's coming along.
Wow. Good on you. I mean, it sounds like, you've run the full gamut throughout your career. You've won a lot of races, and, now you're still enjoying your races, probably even more so. You might not be going as fast, but you're still, able to enjoy it. You still realize the beauty of the race. I think it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
It was a big debate on whether you quit racing altogether or you become happy with not with not winning.
It was a big
And
debate?
it's been a big debate for
Really?
me. It's been years.
Really? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And this year I finally said, I'm going to do these races and I'm going to enjoy every single one. And then I broke my kneecap and COVID hit. And so then when I could finally get back at it, I still wanted to try to do it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's been good so far.
How did you break your kneecap?
Red hot.
Oh no.
I was passing the lead girl and I took a misstep and I just tripped on a rock and fell down. So there, I guess I wasn't just running for enjoyment, was I? Oops. But yeah, I did it red hot.
And if you fall on that course, you're falling on rock. So I'm guessing that's what happened.
Yeah, I fell on some slick rock and I had to walk out, and it was like 9 miles. It was awful.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that walk out of there, what's going through your head? Like, are you just laughing? Like the gods are just laughing at me with all these injuries, or were you really pissed off?
Well, I was pissed off, but I was also kind of thinking like, oh my God, do I have to tell people I did this? Because this is so embarrassing. I'm injured again. You can almost hear what people are saying. And yeah.
But I mean, you've got over 100 races under your belt at this point. I mean, I think you've got like 72 races on Ultra Sign Up, and you did a ton of mountain races way before that. So
yeah, before Ultra Sign Up was even a thing.
Yeah, no kidding. So you've got over 100 races under your belt.
Easily. Yeah.
Easily. And you've got a lot of injuries, but in comparison, it's probably not that bad, is it? Like, you've had a ton of success.
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's good. It's all good. It's all part of it.
It's all part of it. Yeah.
And it's fun to be able to say that I'm the most injured person in the whole wide world. And I mean, like, I have my ankle is fused in one foot.
Oh no.
I broke my wrist right after I recovered from my kneecap. I could go on and on.
Really?
Oh, I could tell.
Was the wrist another wipeout?
Yeah, it was the day they said, sure, you can go run now. Your kneecap's healed. No. Just don't go on a trail because you might trip and fall.
Anita, and you went on a trail, didn't you?
And I did.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just stupid. But yeah.
Well,
it's all good. It's all fun.
It's all good. And you know what? Like, it's almost good to hear that someone with your experience is still making mistakes, because I'm making mistakes all the time. So I'm glad I'm not the only one.
It's just haphazard that I've had any luck that I've had, I think.
Yeah. Do you have any races planned for the future, or what's coming up for you?
I'm doing Sherpa John's next one.
The sawmill. Oh, sweet. I'll be there. I'll be looking for you.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I was kind of hoping to do Bandera, actually.
Ooh.
So we'll see what comes with that. I have a friend kind of tempting me into that. So we'll see.
Okay. Is anyone trying to like tempt you or persuade you into doing another 100-miler? Is that something that goes through your head, or?
The minute I say no, I would be lying.
Right.
So it goes through my head constantly.
Yeah.
If I do another one, it will be Hard Rock if I could ever get in.
Mm-hmm.
Or Run, Robert, Run.
Okay.
Because I only got to mile 83.
Yeah. So you must be putting in for Hard Rock every year.
I haven't for a while because I haven't felt like my body was ready.
Okay.
But having a couple years of way less intense training, my body's feeling a lot better.
Good.
And so I can't next year. I won't get in next year. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
how many people are getting carried over.
Yeah, right. That's
Right. And, Bandera is a qualifier for Western, but there's no way I'd win Bandera. So I don't have to worry about that.
Nah, just go out and have fun. Just go out and enjoy it. Yeah. Just kick back and just have an easy day. 100K. That's no big deal.
Right.
Wow. Well, it's been awesome talking with you.
Yeah, you too.
And I'm so glad that you're still out there doing it. I mean, that you made that sort of negotiation in your head and you're still able to just go out and enjoy races. I mean, it's always kind of a bummer when elite athletes get to a point and they're like, if I'm not going to go out there and win this thing and my name's not going to be in lights, then I'm not going to do it, And as a middle of the pack runner, I kind of look at those people and it's almost a little disappointing, So I think it's pretty cool that you're still out there and you're still doing it and you're still doing well.
Well, that's so nice. Thank you. That, like I said, it was a long debate. It's a multi-year debate.
Yeah.
And I'm really liking that I can make this switch over.
Yeah. What do you do now to keep yourself healthy? Do you have a really clean diet? Do you have good recovery? Or you're shaking your head no?
I have a really bad diet and I don't do much recovery. That's not true. David Roach, that's what I do.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So what does that involve exactly?
He makes sure I don't kill myself every day when I walk out the door for a run.
Okay.
Because I would like to walk out for the door every day and go for 25 miles.
Yeah.
And my body can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not, when you're younger, you can do that and your body can take anything. But when you're 56, your body can't do that. And so, what can you get, what the greatest returns for the least amount of work?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, what I'm working on now.
So what does that look like now? I'm guessing you're not running 5 hours a day. Are you still doing 2-a-days? You did a 10-mile tempo run. That's pretty legit. So you're still incorporating tempos, speed work. You're still doing the deal.
Yeah.
Like, has your volume decreased?
Volume is down. I think the thing that it's one less workout every day for sure. So it's like maybe 2, not 3 anymore. Yep. And my back-to-back runs are back-to-back, but they're not back-to-back-to-back. Because I used to do 3 back, back.
Okay.
And that's the biggest difference, I think. And there are days where they're easy days, like 6 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like unheard of. It used to be unheard of for me. Like 6 miles, are you kidding? And I do have a day off a week.
Okay. Okay.
I don't always do it, but
Does it try. You don't always do it. Does it take you longer to recover now? Do you feel a big difference? I mean, I'm 10 years younger than you and I feel a difference. I feel like sometimes I need 2 days off in a row and I feel like lazy, but I'm like, my body really needs this.
I feel stiffer in the morning.
Okay.
But I think because I'm doing so much less now,
it's not as bad.
It doesn't seem bad. No.
Yeah. Do you incorporate yoga or stretching or anything like that?
No, I'm a firm believer in not stretching.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't do it at all.
I just start really slow. I don't stretch at all.
Okay.
I start slow and let my muscles warm up that way. I will sometimes stretch in the middle of a run.
Really?
Okay. But not, I don't stretch when I start.
Okay. Did you have a bad experience with stretching?
No, I'm just lazy.
The lazy ultra runner.
Doesn't like to stretch.
I get it.
You know, you could run a mile in the amount of time you take to stretch.
Oh, totally. Totally.
So a mile or stretching, which is it?
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Right?
Anita, it's been awesome talking with you. I mean, you're a big inspiration to a lot of people. So I think it's fantastic that you're still doing what you're doing and just keep it up. You're still out there kicking ass and, people still notice. So I think it's
Oh,
pretty
well,
awesome.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks so much for talking to me.
Oh, it's been a blast. I had an absolute blast. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah, I'll be looking for you. I'm sure you'll probably blow right by me, but yeah, I'll be looking for you. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Please enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much.
You too.
All right. We'll see
Thanks
you.
so much.
You bet.
Bye-bye.